Good morning, children. So in today's class we'll be studying about the torque acting on a rectangular coil, okay, when you place it in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, so hope you remember in the last class we have discussed force between parallel conductors and then force acting on a current carrying conductor. Okay, what is the formula for force experienced by a current carrying conductor when you place it in a magnetic field? Is it I into L cross B? Where I is current, L is the length of the conductor and B represents the magnetic field. And to find out the direction of this force, okay, we have used Fleming's left hand rule. If the forefinger represents magnetic field, middle finger current, then thumb gives the direction of the force. So by using this force acting on a current carrying conductor, today we'll be studying what is the torque acting on a rectangular coil, okay, when you place it in a magnetic field. Okay, to understand it, observe this diagram. Okay, so there is a magnetic field directed from north pole to south pole. Okay, I'm showing a part of a magnet. This is the north pole. Okay, the magnet is bent and its south pole is here. Okay, we have a single magnet directed from north. It is bent, it's behind the board and coming from this side. So I'm showing you that magnetic field, the north and south poles are perpendicular to the plane of the board. Okay, this is the plane along which I took the north and south poles. So in between them, we are going to place one rectangular coil. Okay, these are the two carbon brushes which is free to rotate. And then this is connected to a battery. Okay, current will pass through it. This is how the current is passing through. Okay, again I am repeating, how is this coil? Okay, the book is a rectangular coil. It is perpendicular to the plane of the paper. Okay, so this is not the arrangement. Actually the coil is perpendicular to the plane of the board. Here you have a north pole and here you have a south pole. Okay, let the length of the coil be L. Breadth is B, applied magnetic field is capital B, which is directed from north to south, and then current passing through the conductor, I have taken it as A. So this is the arrangement. Now I will name this rectangular coil as P, Q, R and S. Now if this is the given arrangement, let us look at each side of the coil. Okay, what is the force acting on P, Q, Q, R, R, S and SP? Start with PQ. How is your PQ? Just now I told you this is the coil that is directed perpendicular to the plane of the board. This end is P, Q, R and S. First let us look into this side. Force acting on PQ. F on PQ. We know formula should be I into L cross B. Okay, as per the definition, force acting on a current carrying conductor is I into L cross B. Now look at the magnetic field and the current. Magnetic field is directed from north to south and current is directed into the plane of the board. Okay, use the Fleming's left hand rule. What is the direction of the field? Field is directed from north to south. P to Q, current is entering into the plane of the board. Okay, again I am repeating. Field is horizontal, current is directed into the plane of the board. What is my thumb pointing out? Downward. So PQ is experiencing a downward force. Okay, I'll call this as FPQ. This is the direction of force on PQ. Come to QR. I into L into B. Angle between L and B. L is into the plane of the board. Magnetic field is on the plane of the board. Angle is 90. Sine 90. Which is anyway equal to 1. Now come to force acting on QR. Field is south to north. QR is also in same direction. Angle is 0. So I into the breadth of the coil is B, capital B, sine 0. Anyway, this will become a 0. What is the direction of the force on PQ? It was acting downward. Okay, I'll give the arrow, it is down. Now come to RS. RS is carrying current outside the board. Magnetic field is horizontal. Current is coming out of the board. Thumb is pointing out upward. So RS is experiencing an upward force. This is force on RS. Write the equation. Force on RS is equal to I into L into B into sine 90, which is acting upward. Then last, force on SP. Field is directed from north to south. SP is carrying current in opposite direction. What is angle between B and L? 180 degrees. So I into small b into capital B into sine 180. Anyway, sine 180 is 0. Again, this force is also becoming 0. So what is the force acting on QR and PS equal to? No force is acting on QR and PS. Again, I am repeating. Observe the diagram. If this is your coil, which is perpendicular to the plane of the board. So this end is carrying current inward. Field is horizontal. This end is carrying current outside the plane of the board. No force is acting on this wire and this wire because both of them are parallel to field. This is parallel and this is anti-parallel to field. Now observe, if I put all the forces, look at these two forces. If this is your coil, if this end is experiencing a downward force and this end an upward force, what would happen to the book? The book will rotate. Okay, again I am repeating. One end is downward, another end is upward. As a result, this object is going to rotate. And we know whenever there is a rotation, we say there is a torque acting on the coil. Okay, so since it is experiencing a torque, if I draw one dotted line, I am showing you only this line now. The distance between these 2 points is B, breadth of the coil. This end is experiencing a downward force, which is BIL. This end is experiencing an upward force, which is B into I into L. If I take this as the center O, due to this, the coil is going to rotate. Okay, it will rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Now we know how do we calculate the torque. Torque, we write it as force into perpendicular distance between the forces. Actually, it is a couple. When two forces are rotating a body, we call it as couple. But it has become a general usage. Okay, I am taking the torque about the point O. Due to this, at a distance B by 2, anti-clockwise rotation. Due to force, again the distance is B by 2, anti-clockwise rotation. I write the net torque as tau 1 plus tau 2, or the net torque is equal to tau 1, force into perpendicular distance. Force is BIL, perpendicular distance is B by 2, plus due to this force, again perpendicular distance is B by 2, BIL into B by 2. Now add both of them. What should be the net torque acting on the body equal to? Is it BIL into B? Now can I replace L into B, length into breadth, as area of this rectangle? So what will happen to the equation for the net torque if you replace L into B as area? Net torque acting on this coil will be B into I into area. Now if I have taken only one loop, okay, we will get this formula. If suppose I take a coil of n number of turns, okay, then you have to multiply with n for n turns. Okay, torque will become BI A into N. Now here I into A into N, we purposefully write it as capital M. Again I am repeating, the product of current into area into number of turns is replaced as one more physical quantity, which is represented by the letter capital M. Capital M is called magnetic dipole moment. Okay, what am I calling this as? The magnetic dipole moment. Okay, if you remember, what was the torque acting on a dipole, electric dipole, when you place it in a magnetic field? Okay, we have written it as torque is equal to P cross E, where P is the dipole moment, E is the electric field. Similarly, here M is the dipole moment, B is the magnetic field. So if you express this in vector form, torque we can write it as M cross B. Okay, because torque is again a vector quantity. Okay, we are writing it in terms of cross product of M cross B. And this M is nothing but the product of I into A into N, which is called the magnetic dipole moment. And remember, the direction of capital M is same as direction of area vector. Say, curl the fingers of your right hand in the direction of current. Thumb gives the direction of magnetic moment. Okay, how to get the direction of this magnetic dipole moment? Curl the fingers. Thumb is going to show you the direction of magnetic dipole moment. But when we have derived it, we have derived in the simplest case, keeping the coil, okay, whose plane is parallel to the magnetic field. Now, if this plane is not parallel to magnetic field, okay, second case, if I rotate it, okay, this was the case we have derived, keeping this coil perpendicular to the board. But if it is not perpendicular and it is tilted, in such a case, let us see what would your answer be. Now, coming to case 2, okay, when the coil is not placed perpendicular to the plane of the board. Okay, previously it was horizontal and it was into the plane of the board. Okay, now I am going to tilt the coil through some angle. Okay, so if it is inclined, let us see whether we will get the same answer or not. Okay, now I am showing you the second diagram. Tilt the coil. Positive and negative. Current direction will remain the same. P, Q, R and S. This is the axis. Previously it was horizontal, now I have rotated it. This is the curl of your direction of current. Now if I indicate these 2 points, previously the coil was straight. Okay, this is the direction of the magnetic field. Now since we have tilted the coil, okay, so this was the position of the coil first, then we have rotated it. Okay, so I will show you this QR vector. The length QR. Previously this was B. Even now the distance is B. Let me call this angle as alpha. If I take the normal, okay, if this is your coil, area vector or magnetic moment vector was acting downward. I told you, curl the fingers, thumb gives the magnetic moment. Now when you tilt it, okay, this is the direction of the magnetic moment. Chalk is the direction of magnetic moment. When you tilt it, magnetic moment direction also will change. See, to this QR it is perpendicular. This is the direction of the magnetic moment vector. Now I will take this lower angle as theta. Theta is angle between B and M. B is the magnetic field which is horizontal. Capital M is magnetic moment which is making an angle theta with capital E. What is the sum of these two angles, theta plus alpha? 90. Okay, here I write alpha plus theta is equal to 90 degrees. Now identify the forces acting on each side of this conductor. Start with PQ. Okay, this is your PQ. It is carrying current into the plane of the board. I have tilted the coil, but still current passing through PQ is directed inward. This is the direction of current which is going inward and coming out from RS. Look at the direction of the magnetic force. Field is horizontal, current is inward, force is still pointing out in the downward direction. So force is B into I into L which is acting downward. On RS, force is acting upward, same direction. RS is carrying current outward, field is horizontal, thumb is pointing out upward. So this is B into I into L. Previously this was horizontal, we have got BILs parallel to each other. Now BIL is downward and this is acting upward. This distance is equal to a B. And now coming to force on QR and RS will be anyway along the axis of rotation and they get cancelled. Suppose force on QR is this side, RS will be opposite. Equal and opposite forces will anyway get cancelled. But these two forces are again producing a rotation. I need the perpendicular distance between the two forces. So extend this line, drop a perpendicular, call this angle, because this angle is alpha, even this will become alpha. I'll call this point as O. Is the perpendicular distance QO now? Previously the perpendicular distance was B. Because you have tilted, the perpendicular distance between the forces, one force is here, one is this side. This is the perpendicular distance. Slant length is B. I want the distance QS. This angle is alpha. So from this triangle, tell me what is cos alpha equal to? Cos alpha is equal to QO by QR, which is nothing but B. Implies QO is equal to B cos alpha. If I replace alpha as 90 minus theta, then QO becomes B sin theta. Call this as equation 1. Now I will again evaluate the torque. We know torque is force into perpendicular distance between the forces. So net torque is equal to magnitude of force B into I into L. What is the perpendicular distance between these two forces? QO into QO. But what is QO from equation 1? Is it B sin theta? So the net torque is equal to BIL into B sin theta. Remember, theta is angle between magnetic field and magnetic moment. Or net torque is equal to B into I into L into B is area into sin theta. For a coil of n turns, you can multiply this with n. What is this product? I into n into A, already written as magnetic moment. So what is your equation for torque? The net torque is equal to B into M into sine of angle between M and B. So that's why we can write it as the cross product M cross B. Okay, so this is your expression for the torque acting on a rectangular coil when you place it in a uniform magnetic field. So whether you place it at 0 degrees or any other angle, so it depends on angle between M and B. So what will be the maximum torque? When will torque be maximum? When theta becomes 90 degrees. Be careful, your theta is the angle between normal to the plane and the magnetic field. How to get the direction of the magnetic moment? If this is your coil and it is carrying current in this direction, okay, curl the fingers in the direction of current. Okay, if it is carrying current upward, curl the fingers of your right hand in the direction of current. Thumb gives the magnetic moment's direction. Again, I am repeating, if this is your coil carrying current like this, curl the fingers of your right hand, thumb gives the magnetic moment direction. So if the angle between M and B is known, you can find out what is the torque. So this is how a torque acting on a rectangular coil is defined. You can compare it with torque in electric dipole. For an electric dipole, we have got P cross E. Here P is replaced with M, magnetic dipole moment. E is replaced with magnetic field. Now looking at this relation, let me define what is this magnetic dipole moment. See, how did we define electric dipole moment? Product of charge into distance between the charges. But here for defining magnetic dipole moment, we use this definition of torque. Okay, just now I told you torque is M cross B. Okay, let us see how to define this capital M. Since torque acting on a coil is M cross B, we can write its magnitude as M into B into sine theta. If theta is 90 degrees and capital D is 1 Tesla, then tell me what will happen to this relation. Will you get torque is equal to capital M? So we use this for defining the magnetic dipole moment. Okay, look at the definition. It is the torque experienced by a rectangular coil when placed in a magnetic field of 1 Tesla with its magnetic moment perpendicular to the field. Again, I am repeating the definition. How do we define it? The magnetic moment is defined as the torque experienced by a rectangular coil placed at an angle of 90 degrees in a magnetic field of 1 Tesla. So this is how we define the magnetic dipole moment. Direction anyway, curl the fingers in the direction of current, thumb of your right hand gives the direction of magnetic moment. So this is how we have got the torque acting on a rectangular coil. Okay, now coming to its SI unit. Okay, let's see how to write the SI unit for magnetic dipole moment. See, just now we have written magnetic dipole moment is torque experienced when placed in a magnetic field for theta equal to 90 degrees. Or you can also write it as current into area into number of turns. So the SI unit would be torque, we know it is Newton meter per Tesla, or you can write it as joule per Tesla, 1 unit in terms of joules and Tesla. Another way is current is ampere, area meter square, number of turns is just a number. So what are the two units, SI units for magnetic dipole moment? Either joule for Tesla or ampere into meter square.